I think we're gonna, what we'll do is we'll do Rich's video. So Rich put out a video about body cams, being quote unquote weaponized against hot women, which has my interest because we're talking about police body cam footage and hot women, which means they're going to be in tight, skippy outfits. You son of a bitch, I'm in. Let's take a look at this, shall we?
The magazine The New Yorker is upset that police officers are wearing body cams because sweet little college girls are upset that people can see them get DWIs.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, that is a real statement. From The New Yorker.
Oh, YouTubers weaponize freedom of information laws to embarrass young women for clicks. Oh my God. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so which girl did Michael Shores simp for that told him she got arrested for DWI and the video footage of her DWI made it onto the internet and someone with a YouTube channel laughed their ass off at this dumb broad getting arrested, and this simp said, I have to defend my lady and write an article smearing the police about how dare you allow these beautiful queens to be embarrassed. This is a level 3 simp alert right now, I'm thinking. I will guarantee you it's a level 3 simp alert. It's like, you know what? Did these young women get embarrassed because they were committing crimes? Good. Because other than hitting them in the wallet, embarrassing them publicly is a very fine way to get them to straighten the fuck up. Public shaming is a thing because public shaming works.
Body cam hustle targeting young women. And who's to blame for this? Oh, not the media. No, not lawyers. It's YouTubers and their ability to FOIA videos available to the public and then put them on the internet? Is this real?
Yes.
This is real? Now we'll break down the article.
This is one of God knows how many white knights defending my lady. The guy probably has a fedora that he tips on everything.
And talk about some of the valid points, there's not many, that they bring up on how body cam footage is, well, everywhere now, and I'll juxtapose that with some of the reasons why it's important to have body camera footage available to the public. I'll even throw in some spicy bits on my original thoughts about body cams when they first came out. But first, a word from this video's sponsor. It may be a brand new year with a fresh start, but there's still the same old threat. Debt. And it's a sneaky threat, silently multiplying, compounding interest, stacking up the fees, and before long it's...
Okay, like, let's be real. People are pissed off about body cams because they can't get away with their bullshit anymore, and they can't just go, the police are mean, we hate the police, ACAB, like, defund the police. Body cams are now providing evidence directly against them. That's why they fucking hate these body cams so much. That's why after screaming about all police officers need body cams, because don't forget, it wasn't that long ago that the general public and even like the local governments were screaming that the police need to have body cams because there were so many reports about police acting inappropriately. And so then like, you have to wear body cams because because they thought, they're erroneously thinking if police wore body cameras, then the police wouldn't be so tough on crime and that they wouldn't be so aggressive. They were certain that the police were doing things so terribly that if they wore the body cams, the police would back off and they wouldn't be so aggressive on crime, or at least perceived over aggressiveness on crime. So the police said, cool, okay, we'll get body cams. All the police departments started wearing body cams, and all the body cams started showing that the cops were actually doing right. The cops were being professional. The cops were busting the criminals, and they weren't doing it by, by doing, by playing into the fantasy of the SJRs and beating the crap out of their suspects because all police bad. No, the body cams actually revealed that the police were continually acting professionally and that the people that were making these claims of police brutality or the police were not being professional were lying out their ass and committing crimes and getting busted for it and were just butthurt that they were actually having to be accountable for their own actions. So now the screaming retards are saying, well, we don't like the body cams anymore because the body cams are actually putting us on blast and are putting our horrible behavior on blast, and the cops are looking like fucking heroes for it, and these are the ACAB people, and they want to defund the police or get rid of the police entirely. So now they're going, oh yeah, no, we don't like the body cams anymore, so you got to get rid of the body cams. And the police department's going, I don't fucking think so. You wanted this, you got it, and now your shitty behavior is going to be put on blast on the entire internet for everybody to see that you are the piece of shit, that you've been besmirching cops erroneously for fucking years, and payback's a bitch, motherfucker.
Choking the life out of your finances. But it doesn't have to be that way with PDS Debt. PDS Debt has already helped hundreds of thousands escape debt, reduce what they owe, and take back control. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, or medical debt, PDS Debt has custom options to help you out. And they go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personal plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're just there to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs, in your pocket. I wish I knew about PDS Debt when I was younger trying to pay off credit card bills and a mortgage. But don't wait for debt to strike again. Break free in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and best option for you at pdsdebt.com/angry.
Thank you, Sahatori.
That's pdsdebt.com/angry. pdsdebt.com/angry. All right, let's get into the article. Now, the first portion of this article from the New Yorker is all about this young lady whose name is April. She got a DWI a couple of years ago, and she was a little sauced. It was a low spot in her life. She gets pulled over. The officer's wearing a body cam, and it captures the entire event. Her doing field sobriety tests, getting a little sloppy, slurring her speech, being emotional. And then her taking a booking where she's arrested. But it's after that moment, when the video is uploaded, that her life really starts taking a turn for the worse. In the public eye, that is. You see, April was sentenced to a year's probation. She got herself cleaned up, went to AA meetings, and she graduated college and is now a teacher. And that's totally fine. People make mistakes. It's nice to see people overcoming them.
Well, okay, I have a suspicion. I have a suspicion that this story is going to be, she realized she was in trouble with what she was doing. She took the probation. She got cleaned up. She got a degree. She got a school teacher. And I'm going to hazard a guess. Like, she's taken accountability. This right here indicates she took accountability. She's like, I fucked up. I've got to get myself clean. She went to Alcoholics Anonymous. She cleaned up her life. She finished her degree. She got a job as a teacher. My guess is this is going to conclude that when the information got uploaded to the internet, she got bullied mercilessly by it. Well, no, disagree. Revan, absolutely disagree. I absolutely disagree. This is someone that screwed up with a DUI, realized she screwed up, took accountability, made amends, and changed her life for the better. So I vehemently disagree with that statement that she should be anywhere near children. Vehemently. In this particular instance, no, disagree. People will screw up. Humans will screw up. Yes, was her screw up a bit on the higher side that she was DUI and could have potentially hurt someone? Yes. But at the same time, she atoned for that. She took responsibility that she did wrong. She absolutely took responsibility and changed her life for the better to make sure nothing like that ever happened again because she recognized she did something wrong. In no way do I think that should disqualify her from being around children. If you are to disqualify every person that received a DUI and then cleaned up their lives and made them and realized their mistakes and actively sought to make their lives better and to better themselves as a person after that, and disqualify them from like being around children in some capacity, you would Do you have any idea how many people, by your logical thinking, would then be barred from ever engaging in children? No, I'm sorry. That is a horrible take. I have to disagree with you vehemently with you on this. That is a very bad take to go along that line of thinking. Now, I understand you may be coming from emotional. There may be something that has happened to you personally that's involved DUI. Okay. Well, you've seen teachers disqualified for less. I'm not saying that the teachers that were disqualified for less were not shafted either. I have no context on that, so I'm not going to say that disqualified for less was justified or not. But in respect to a DUI, totally disagree that they should be disqualified from teaching. I'm vehemently disagreeing with you on that. But again, I think what's happening here is what Rich is going to say is that when it got uploaded to the internet, she may have gotten bullied mercilessly, and people may have actually gone after her job and potentially gotten her fired from her job because of this old body cam footage, not taking into the account that she took responsibility, actively sought to never do that again, and actively atoned for what she did to make herself better after this event. And I'm guessing that's where this is leading up to.
That's totally fine. People make mistakes. It's nice to see people overcoming them. But April and the author of this article are concerned that just because April messed up one time in her life, she shouldn't have to have that moment follow her around on the internet forever. And April's not the only one. There's a girl from Washington that got a DWI because she fell asleep at a Taco Bell drive-thru. Damn, so close to greatness. Liv Moss, am I right? And her video has over 3 million views. The article gives a couple more examples of some young ladies that have had some...
Would I agree if she'd gotten arrested for DUI and didn't change hers? Wait, would you agree if she had gotten... Right, I'm afraid I don't understand her question. Would I agree if she had gotten arrested for DUI and didn't change her ways? Would I agree with... Yes, okay, so would I have agreed with Robin? Yes, if we're talking about someone that gets arrested for DUI, is unrepentant, doesn't change their ways, and continues to continues to drink and drive and put people in harm's way, then in that instance, whereas someone that is not repentant, doesn't actually try to change themselves for the better, then yes, in that situation, yes, repeat offenders that basically will not change their ways, in that instance, yes. In this specific instance with this woman, she got arrested once, realized, I have really fucked up, I need to change. She made her change, she sought to better herself and not drink anymore because she's an Alcoholics Anonymous, which means she's not touching booze anymore. And she sought to make a change. So yes, it does depend. If the person doesn't try to make a change, just says, fuck it, I'll pay my fine, do my probation, and I'm still going to keep drinking and driving, then yes, that person I agree with. Like, that's someone, and if that person's a teacher and they are continually drinking and driving, then yes, I will agree. That person should not be a teacher of children. But again, it's context. Context is key on this one. And as I always say, context is key to most things. And we are looking at the context of this one individual person who fucked up and realized they fucked up and actively sought to make amends and repent and better themselves in the aftermath of it.
The video has over 3 million views. The article gives a couple more examples of some young ladies that have had some DWIs, and they got posted all over the internet for a couple million views here and there. But they come to this conclusion that I find difficult to swallow. These videos that get viewed millions and millions of times are mostly women, mostly between the ages of 18 and 25, and mostly powerless to stop their online humiliations.
Okay, that's an easy explanation. That is legitimately an easy explanation. They're mostly women, mostly between 18 and 25. My guess is mostly pretty. And it's because they're young and pretty, it feeds the algorithm. This is not rocket science. The social media algorithm works off basis of two things: chaos and attractiveness. that's what literally feeds the algorithm. Like heightened emotional response, like something that is like basically rage inducing, or hot girls. It's like those are the two primary components that feed social media algorithms. So, yes, those videos are going to get pushed to the forefront of the algorithm and are going to be viewed by more people. And you know, either guys that just want to see a pretty girl, or women that want to see the pretty girl get their comeuppance because the viewer in question is an ugly sow and is jealous as fuck, and they like seeing the pretty girl get her comeuppance because she can live vicariously and go, haha, got him. That's how the algorithm works. That's how social media works. That's how society works in the social media space.
Hope that the New Yorker couldn't possibly be so naive as to say that female DWIs, because they're cute and young, are the majority of police videos out there. Because that would be wrong, especially if they were to say that female videos make up the majority of body cam videos, because...
And Rich is correct. He is wrong. There are body cam footage of all sorts of people out there in droves. But again, we're talking about feeding the algorithm. That's what this boils down to. I don't know if Rich is going to go into that vein, but that's why people see that more, is because that's what the algorithm pushes.
Just based on the numbers, men are arrested more. We flee from police more, usually have weapons and dope on us more, and commit more murders than women. So if we're talking about true crime channels to be included in this DWI channel thing, not just DWIs on their own, this is a small drop in a big bucket. Now, the article goes on to talk about how the widespread use of body cams really kind of originated around 2014, after the Michael Brown incident with the hands up, don't... And I quote, the technology took off around 2014, the same year that an unarmed Michael Brown was killed by police in Ferguson, Missouri. In the aftermath of Brown's death, working to repair community trust in police, Obama directed the Justice Department provide grants for municipalities to acquire cameras. Quick breakdown of the Brown incident, if you haven't read the grand jury testimony and all the interviews. I have. Because I feel like the statement, unarmed Michael Brown, is a little leading. Cutting out the time before his interaction with police when he was at the corner store, grabbing a bunch of shit and stealing it and shoving over people.
The next morning, Brown is back at the store and what police have always described as a strong-arm robbery. His one hand grabbing the cigars, his other on the storekeeper's neck.
While police are on patrol, an officer stops Michael Brown. Michael Brown goes up to the vehicle. The police starts talking to him. Michael Brown reaches in through the window and just starts beating the shit out of the cop, to which the cop fires off a couple rounds while trapped inside the vehicle, getting blasted by Michael Brown. Michael Brown retreats after hearing the gunfire and potentially being shot. After the officer gave verbal commands to stop and get on the ground, and firing his weapon already, Michael Brown charges him. He's shot again by the officer. Leaned in the car, started beating the shit out of the officer, gets shot. Charges the officer when he gets out of the vehicle, gets shot again. And one of the last bullets to strike Michael enters the top of his head as he falls forward. AC, why'd you bring up that whole breakdown? Because it kind of paints the overall picture that this author is trying to paint for you. 80% of lawyers...
And it's like we've seen this with Michael Brown. There was the whole thing with Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. It's with a lot with a few, several of these police shootings. They're so controversial. When the evidence comes out, I mean, we could even go into the whole freaking George Floyd thing. We're not going to, because that's a fucking rabbit hole that I don't want to go down. But yeah, they're proven to be justified shoots. However, because of the fifis, because the offender was dark-skinned and the cop was not, they instantly jumped to racist, because apparently these freaking SJRs believe that black people can never commit crime. And so they make it just they use their racism, because it is racism, because they said, oh, black offender, white cop, the white cop must be at fault. That's racism. And they use this to try and further, again, what I was talking about earlier regarding propaganda. This is where the propaganda comes into play. They use that to facilitate propaganda, to basically indoctrinate the intellectual deficients to go in on the cause, and then you have riots in the streets, and you have movements like the BLM, things like that. So, but when you look at the facts almost always show that the shooting was justified, that the cop was in fear for his life, and there is evidence to substantiate this, which is conveniently ignored by the SJRs because they don't like facts, they like feelings, and they want to have an excuse to riot and destroy things and to say all cops are bastards.
Departments are equipped with cameras, and polls indicate broad support from the public. Oh no, the public likes it. What? And why do the public like it? Well, because it catches police misconduct. And that's fantastic. I don't like dirty cops. And in several incidents where body cam was used to prosecute not only corrections officers, but also police officers who killed people in use of force incidents that were unauthorized and unnecessary. Many of these advocates for body cameras are, well, supportive of body cameras because they capture misconduct of police officers, which was the original goal after Michael Brown was shot.
And herein lies why they turned. Because the body cams did indeed catch police misconduct, and police or corrections officers did receive punishment for their misconduct. So all the SGRs were like, yay, see, we right, the cops are bad. Look, the body cam, see, this is why we want the body cameras, because cops are evil, and they do evil things, and now there's evidence, and you are forced to punish them because it's all caught on camera. So yes, there were a few of them. And then the body cams started catching bad actors on the criminal side. Now it started catching how the people that they're standing for, that basically the heroes of the SJRs, started to show that these people are assholes, that the cops are actually doing their job properly, that the cameras were now showcasing that these assholes are indeed assholes and deserve to get arrested, that they were actually hyper-aggressive when the police officers were being professional, and all of a sudden they go, oh no, these body cameras that were only supposed to expose police corruption are exposing that the people that we cheer for are actually pieces of shit and are righteously being arrested. Well, we certainly can't have that. We only want the cops to be exposed. We don't want our people to be exposed. And now this is why they want the body cameras taken away.
So many incidents where people were thinking that the cops are lying or that couldn't possibly have happened. Now those people would be justified in seeing these police officers act out of line.
Yep.
Now, of course, police officers aren't perfect. There are bad ones that misuse the power and authority that they have. And because of body...
It's not that they're only okay with something as long as it doesn't expose them. They're okay with it as long as the punishment doesn't come back on them. It's not simply just they're good with it as long as it doesn't expose them. They're good with it as long as they don't do something that will result in consequences. That's the thing. It's honestly, exposing them is not the problem. It's the fact that they're getting exposed and suffering consequences because of it. They don't give a fuck about the exposure. They give a fuck about the consequences. These SJRs get exposed all the fucking time. The reason why they stick around is because they don't suffer consequences once they are exposed. When they suffer the consequences, that's when things go tits up on them and they realize, oh, I can't do whatever the fuck I want because there's actual consequences for my actions. Therein lies the rub, is that they receive consequences.
Cameras, sure, they've been caught, arrested, and prosecuted appropriately. Even a field study done in California showed that use of force incidents were cut in half in some areas with the introduction of body-worn cameras. But what this article doesn't state, wonder why, because of body-worn cameras being, well, activated in non-officers during these use of force incidents or shootings, the number of investigations showing officers guilty of some sort of infraction, whether it be use of force or an abuse of power or a manual of procedures rule breaking, have plummeted. Oh my, of course.
Now, context. Hang on, where's that fucking footage? Where's that footage? Fuck. Okay, I can't find it. what Rich is saying is that article saying that use of force incidents dropped by 50%. What Rich is saying is that use of force complaints dropped because they can't, because since the body cam since the body cams are being worn, the SJRs that are trying to make a quick buck off of suing police departments for improper use of force can't do that anymore because they've been caught on candid camera. So it's not that use of force actually dropped. It's that false reports on police regarding use of force dropped.
Of some sort of infraction, whether it be use of force or an abuse of power or a manual of procedures rule breaking, have plummeted. Oh my!
Thank you,
of
Jay
course, why would we
Cavalry.
talk about all the
It's your
incidents
one.
where the first day or two.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. It could be a little bit of both. Yeah, I will allow it. It could be a little bit of both. That some police officers that might have been more predisposed to elevating use of force beyond what is necessary. Realize, oh, I can't do that anymore. I will agree that there is some degree of that in there, sure, but on the lion's share of this is false reports being made about use of force complaints that resulted in needing investigations by IA into the use of force, and those I think took up the lion's share of that statistic saying that use of force dropped. It was the use of force complaints dropped because predominantly people stopped complaining about it because they knew they were on camera and they knew they would have gotten their shit pushed in if they tried to make a complaint about it.
Oh my! Of course, why would we talk about all the incidents where the first day or two everybody was super upset at the police for just randomly killing a person of color for no reason, and then whoops, what do you know, they were coming at him with a knife trying to stab him in the hallway.
That's one hell of a sprint.
Hey, it's the police department. Hey, why? Why?
So the officer pulls his firearm and fires 2 shots.
Please back up. Oh, yeah. Back up. Oh, back up. Back up.
Which was not enough to take her down. The officer, who is trapped now, keeps fighting for his life, though.
Back up.
But let's read on, right? For the first few years of camera use, footage requests came generally from defendants, attorneys, and journalists. Lawyers wanted evidence. Reporters wanted to see what happened. But soon, a different genre of requests began to trickle in.
Okay, well, saying cops need 45 ACP, if the person is coked out of their mind or on speedballs, even a 45 is not going to do it. There is a little bit of a fallacy here that the 9mm is just going to zip right through him and is not going to bring him down, whereas the 45 ACP is going to basically hit him like a sledgehammer. It's like there's this myth that the 45 ACP functions like a sledgehammer in terms of force and just like sends them flying back. No, it's not. That's not true. When someone is coked out of their mind or tripping on speedballs and is like feeling no pain, 9mm, 45, doesn't matter. That's why police are trained to aim center mass. It's why they're trained to aim for the heart, because if you take out the power plant, the rest of the body will follow. It does it, granted, it is not 100% effective. There have been times where a suspect has been injured in the heart and they still keep going. Generally speaking, though, you stop the power plant, the rest of the body will follow very quickly after, regardless of caliber.
But soon, a different genre of requests began to trickle in. YouTubers and TikTokers. Oh, it's just reeks of envy. You're not a real journalist, you're just on YouTube. Whoa, okay, buddy. Ooh. Hoo-wee. Coming for your job? Huh? A little freaked out that us little YouTubers are coming for your job, bud? I can't believe that the rest of the public, not journalists, would demand public information or video that they can rightfully request. That's our job to on people and make them look stupid, not the rest of the internet. We do it because we are reporting our slanted, horrible views on why those people are disgusting via these body cams. You can't do that with neutrality. Want to know why I feel that way? Well, because of the next couple lines. They wanted lively, contentious arrests. DUIs, underage drinking, crimes committed on nights out. They wanted college towns, girls dressed for clubbing, thumbnails sure to win a click. Oh my God.
Yes, because that's how social media works. Congratulations, Mr. Journalist. You finally figured out, after God knows how many years, how basic fucking social media has been working for a couple of decades now. Does he think that he's special? Coming to this revelation that, oh, putting a girl dressed for the club in the thumbnail getting arrested is going to generate clicks. Is he only just now figuring this out? This has been true for years. Why? Because two things sell: rage bait and sex. And if you combine the two of them, holy fuck, you have a gold mine. This is human nature. This is legitimately human nature. Because guess what? In this day and age where literally every single person has a camera in their pocket, and if they see police facilitating an arrest or something, they're yanking out that camera and they're shooting it, and then they're going to post it online. So are you going to go after all of the bystanders that are constantly recording these arrests and posting it online too? This is how human nature works. Humans love to post L's online for everybody to see, to get clicks and to get likes. Welcome to the human fucking race.
My God, it's almost as if the YouTubers are doing the exact same thing you are. How many years have journalists wrote sensational articles, over sensationalized headlines, and gone far out of their way in order to take some sort of sexy thing or some criminal aspect or fill in the blank and deform whatever actual news there was inside of it into some sexy headline-catching fuckery. Has this guy never...
You know, kind of like clickbaits. How many journalist articles have you seen that are complete clickbait, and then the meat of the article itself is something completely different and has nothing to do with the headline? I have seen so many of those that they make this outrageous claim in the headline, and then you actually, there was one, oh God, what was it? It was about a movie star. Supposedly a movie star hated another movie star. And then you get into the meat of the article. It's like, yeah, it's like, we had it's like, I was worried about this person, but then I worked with them and they are actually wonderful. And it's like the story itself has zero to do with the headline. Journalists have been doing clickbait literally from the inception of journalism. From the moment pen was put to paper in the form of a news article, journalists had been using clickbait to get reads. Back when it was still print only, and you can be goddamn sure when it went to online. They're just pissed that someone is beating them at their own game, and that YouTubers are getting 1,000 times more clicks than they could ever dream of getting. It's jealousy, pure and simple. Journalists are jealous because nobody gives a fuck what they have to say anymore. They would prefer to see the YouTubers and actually see the video footage, or see people like Rich giving legitimate breakdowns of what they're seeing, instead of reading a hack job from a journalist that doesn't have a sweet fucking clue what they're talking about in the first place. It's kind of like how CNN tried to smear Nick Shirley by calling him a MAGA journalist and ignoring the fact that he exposed hundreds of millions of dollars in fraud in one day's worth of investigation. They're jealous. They know that their time is coming to an end, and no one gives a fuck about them anymore.
Ever heard of the saying sex sells? You think that came from YouTube? We learned it from you.
I learned it by watching you.
Substitute, instead of thumbnails sure to get a click, headlines sure to get a view. Pot calling the kettle black there? Guy?
Yep.
What's his name? What's this retard's name. Oh, I didn't see. It's on the first page, isn't it? It is on the first page, and I didn't print that one out because it was just a photo of some bullshit. Now, there are hundreds of...
I'm still maintaining he's a fucking simp. Some hot girl that he knows whined to him that she got arrested, and her body cam footage ended up on YouTube, and she's oh so embarrassed about it. And he went, "I will defend you, my lady, and I will write an article smearing all of these YouTubers for putting gorgeous queens like yourself on blast, and surely that will make you love me and want to fuck me."
channels that are dedicated to body cam footage. One of them happens to be a friend of mine, and well, he does a great job of doing it, and he doesn't need to have girls with tits up to here. No, he's got that weird freak from like La Crosse, Wisconsin that screams like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay, go on. I'm not gonna give you a hug. Okay, I listened to you. Now we're gonna walk over there. Let's go.
But here's an interesting line that, well, I'll get into after I add some additional context. Why should that follow them the rest of their lives? That is a good line. I'll give you my thoughts on that, but first let's read some of the interesting...
Okay. Is he gonna say the same thing about literally every social media ever? How many of these queens that he's sipping for post the dumbest fucking shit online, and that follows them around for the rest of their lives? Are you gonna go after social media the way you're going after the cops? Are you gonna go after these people posting their own fucking L's on social media, and that will now follow them for the rest of their lives? Are these women that you're sipping for, are you gonna afford them any accountability for their actions too? I'm gonna hazard a guess not.
Things that other states are doing. And this is what kills me. If there's gonna be a fix, it will have to be a legislative one. Now, there are already restrictions on body cam footage, right? If it's during a homicide investigation, well, good luck getting any sort of body cam or interview video from the district, department, or bureau. Why?
Well, yes. The author is aware that arrest records follow these women. He's making the distinction. Having it written in black and white on paper, oh, this person got a DUI, is not as shame-inducing as the actual arrest showcasing this drunk bitch stumbling all over the place, slurred her words, or even potentially attacking the police would do. Having it in living color and in full 4K video, or 1080p as the case may be, is a lot more shame-inducing than it simply being written in black and white. And that's where this simp is like, I do not wish the gorgeous queens to be shamed, because there is an offhanded chance in an alternative universe where I am actually an attractive and likable person that they might fuck me.
Well, because there's witness testimony in there, and some of these witnesses, well, you might have to protect them. And another thing is juveniles. Because juveniles aren't, well, adults, fully formed adults yet, they have certain protections. In fact, I think they're the only protected class inside the United States when it comes to the law. Now, I'm sure you're gonna bring up like hate crimes on somebody, and like its own rabbit hole you can go down. But juveniles are, and I believe they should be, protected above everybody else. So there are already limitations on what you can and cannot get from body cam footage FOIA requests, or Freedom of Information Law. FOIA, FOIL, juvenile information, or juvenile anything related, usually, generally. Some sexual assaults, especially if it happens to show the action of a sexual assault. Homicides and other serious crimes, depending on what's going on, and medical information. Inside of a hospital where there's hospital gowns and people walking around and things happening to people, you know.
Well, that or doctors actually that or doctors or medical practitioners conversing with a patient regarding confidential medical information, not just the grossy.
That's a baby being born. I know this looked like me fisting a horse, but you get the drift. And it's hard to limit these things. In case in point, Sean T. Keene, a New Jersey assemblyman, has proposed a bill that would prohibit the release of body cam recordings without approval from the video's subject. Which, well, you know, is kind of iffy, because what if it's a politician that is the subject of said video and an arrest? Nancy Pelosi's husband getting hit over the hammer by that guy he's totally not sleeping with? What about that one Karen that was part of like the New Jersey, New York Port Authority that just pulled up on a traffic stop and motherfucked the cop and said, "Do you know who I am? You can't give my daughter a ticket."
Huh?
I'm the commissioner of the Port Authority, and I'm heading up over 4,000 police officers. Okay? So, if there's a problem, I think I have...
There's no problem.
Why were they pulled over, first of all?
Miss.
Now, don't call me miss. I'm commissioner. Why
The
did
driver
they...
will tell you.
No. I need
Yes,
to know.
ma'am. The car's getting towed now.
Why is the car getting towed?
Go ask him. Are you finished, ma'am?
I'm shocked.
Are you
I'm
finished?
shocked and very disappointed. Thank you.
Oh my God, they had a commissioner, they had a Karen as a commissioner. Thank God she resigned shortly thereafter. Yeah, see, this is why these videos need to go public. This is precisely why these videos need to go public, and it's precisely why people like this don't want them to go public. Because now their bad behavior, their shitty behavior gets put on blast for everyone to see. And so now they can't act like entitled cunts like this bitch did. Now they actually have to behave like normal fucking people and not entitled bitches.
You may
your
take
help.
them. You may take them now.
You may not tell me when to take my child. You may shut the up and not tell me when I may take my kid.
She's the target of that. She's the point of the video. She gets arrested for obstruction. Do you think it's not important that we look at political figures, people in the public eye that are supposed to represent us and say, hey, we shouldn't have access to that? I think we should. I think we absolutely should.
Oh, yes.
So
Oh,
how
yes.
many laws are you going to enact? How many different statutes are you going to have to make sure that the right people don't get their video uploaded or downloaded or posted, whatever, shared?
What are you doing
and
here,
this is
Rich?
one of those things where the author of this article loses his mind for a second and thinks that he's better than everybody else because he can write shit on paper. Are journalists, I ask Keen, lumped in with that general public? What an elitist thing to say.
Yep.
Because what in the world makes you think that you are better than the general public just because you're a journalist? Therefore,
Because they buy into the hype, the Fifth Estate hype. That's what makes them think that journalists are better than the public, is because he is bought into that superiority complex of journalists are the Fifth Estate, and therefore they should be lauded as being super important and should be above reproach. They should never be questioned, and they should be allowed to do anything. That's what it is.
you should be allowed certain things that the general public shouldn't. Asinine. But he does bring up the point that I made before. What happens when a local politician gets special treatment from police? Holding politicians accountable. Holding police accountable. Isn't that the point of body cams anyway? Ohio lawmakers are hoping to discourage bulk requests with new footage fees up to $75 an hour. But that measure risks excluding inquiries from low-income people. Precisely those people likely to be victims of police violence. Yeah, because we just beat up.
Translation, we care more about protecting the important people that we like versus the actual potential victims of police misconduct. That's what that translates to. We're gonna charge $75 an hour because we want to protect the politicians and the business people and everyone that gives us money from being embarrassed. But fuck the little guy.
Poor people all the time. That's exactly it, right? It's only the poor. Now I said before, hey, I'm going to tell you how I feel about the body cams when they first came out. Because it seems to be, well, an underlying issue here in this article that I don't think the author really hit on as much as I wished. Now, when body cams first came out and when my department started to get theirs, I was hesitant to buy in. Now, I like them now. At first, I was like, great, you can't tell somebody to f*** off, otherwise now you're going to get brought up on charges. When a f*** off is certainly absolutely called for.
A fight breaks out and the crowd starts interfering with the arrest. That's when the commander in pig shows up.
Go Ritz! Go Ritz!
But here's
Go
something
Ritz!
that people don't think of when you get body cams. Let's say that you and your wife are arguing. It's loud. You're passionate about something. You're butting heads about some sort of direction the family should go into or how stressed you are about work. And a neighbor calls 911, says, hey, They're having a loud argument over there. Could be a fight. I want to make sure that the police go there and check up on the wife and husband and make sure everything's okay. And the police show up. Well, guess what? If we enter your house with our body cameras on, now everybody gets to see the inside of your house. There is no privacy allowed. Now, if there's no crime, you might be able to contact the local PD and have them delete that video. And I would suggest that you do, but I don't know if that's something the department that you live with is capable of doing. No, I primarily deal with Axon, and I do know that there is a time limit that everything's deleted if it's not specifically saved or attached to a call number. But let's say that it's a year. For 1 year, anybody that knows that you've had police contact can call up the police station and get a video of that entire interaction. Your entire home. What's in it?
That's a legit concern.
The steel, the doors, the layout. You will have zero privacy the moment an officer steps in your house with the body camera on. And sometimes, depending on the call and circumstance, you can't refuse the officer from coming into the house. A warrant. Domestics where the officer feels like there's somebody that's injured behind you.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard a bunch of screaming, and when I pulled up, I heard more screaming and then a thud, and now you're not letting me in? I need to make sure that the person that's inside is okay. No. All right. Exigent circumstances. Somebody could absolutely be hurt, and now you're covering up a crime scene. You need to move, or I'm going to detain you for obstruction. That's just one thing off the top of my head. And that's something that your department and the people that pay their taxes for that department need to think of. The moment that your department gets body cams, you're gonna lose some of your privacy. And you might say, well, I've never needed to call the cops at my house. Well, until the day that you do, another
or until the day that someone else calls the cops on you and the cops need to come and the cops need to conduct an investigation. It's not simply just like until you need to call the cops, other people can do it too. How many streamers have been doxxed? How many streamers have had an irate viewer or someone that just wants to fuck with them call the police and say, "Hey, someone's being killed in that." Yeah, how many streamers have been swatted? Those SWATs, those police officers had body cameras on, and it's exigent circumstances. The streamer didn't call them; someone else called the police and swatted them. So it goes beyond even what Rich is saying. It's like until you need to call the cops, it's not even the person themselves calling the cops sometimes.
Fortunate thing, downside of body cams is it makes lazy district attorneys, lazy lawyers. I mean, back in my day, if a police officer went on scene, saw some things, arrested you for it, and wrote it down, he would go on the stand and testify. That's what happened. Yep. And if there was proof that he was lying, well, he was screwed after that. False testimony is a huge deal. I know that there's some left-wing crazies and anti-cop people that are like, all the time. No, we don't. No. No, it is a big deal. The second that you lose credibility on the stand, your job is basically over. But gone are the days where you could just do that and sit on the stand and be cross-examined. Now, if you don't have video footage of the incident, it's like it never possibly could have even existed.
Yeah, and that's what he's talking about with lazy district, like lazy prosecuting attorneys. Is if you don't have video footage of it, I think what he's saying is prosecuting attorneys won't even try and push a case to its conclusion. That they'll immediately try and like plead it out or even just drop it if there's no video body cam footage. That they won't even attempt to work a decent prosecution against the case because they don't even want to try. No body cam footage? Well, fuck it. We're not going to do anything with this. Either plead them out or just say, we don't have the body cam footage. Just fucking drop it. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a serious problem if prosecuting attorneys are getting that fucking lazy that just because they don't have body cam footage, they're not even going to try to do their job. That's a prosecuting attorney that if a prosecuting attorney does that, I don't want them as a prosecuting attorney. I want them to be fired. Any prosecuting attorney that's just like, oh, no body cam footage, fuck it, we're dropping the case. No. Bye-bye, prosecuting attorney. You will no longer work in the DA or ASA's office. You can go find another job. That's my opinion.
His body cam was malfunctioning, says the defense. We should throw it out. He's hiding something. Well, there's no video of it, so even though you've got 15 years on the job and have never lied and done an exemplary job, we're gonna throw out this entire case because,
Yeah.
well, we need video now, says the
Yeah, that's a prosecutor that should not have a job. Fire them immediately. Any prosecutor that does that, fire them. Get them the fuck out of there. Have them go put the fries in the bag. They are a worthless attorney. It means that they're getting paid to not do their job. Fuck them. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out.
lazy prosecutor. Now, before we end it, I will say this personal view on body cams. I like them. I used to wear mine and I would talk to it like it was a person. I'd go, boop, boop. And if I felt freaked out about stuff, I would say it. Oftentimes pulling somebody over. Boop, boop. Hey, this guy's driving kind of funny and he's freaking me out. I hope he doesn't run, but I feel like he might run. He's not pulling over right away. This is weird. This is very strange. Why is he doing that? Now when I get out of the car, I'm like, hey, bud, why are you driving so weird? Or if I saw evidence, I would be like, I see evidence right there. Just point it at the thing. I find it right there. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to have so-and-so pick it up and put it in the evidence bag, and then you can submit it as evidence. How does that sound, body cam? How does that sound, Mr. Body Cam? Or after my interaction with somebody on a traffic stop, I would sit down in my car, write out his tickets, and go, I'm going to be removing him from the vehicle and towing that car. He does not seem happy. I really hope he does not fight with me. You know why? Because I don't want the defense to go, well, this guy's just trying to pick a fight with my guy who's just sitting there in his car with his, as a felon with a firearm and a whole bunch of dope. He had no reason to do anything mean to the police officer. He's just a normal citizen when he's not committing the crimes that he often commits all the time with this and now. No, I didn't want to fight him from the get-go. Use your body cams like you're talking to a friend. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
All right. I'm talking to the camera. Go away. It's weird when you watch me. It's like having your parents watch you fornicate. You're doing a good job, Richard. Put it in there. No, shut up, Dad. Ew, I love you. You make my life weird in a good way. Well, that's all I've got for you this time, weirdos. Best way to support the channel is buy yourself a shirt. Kermit and War Crimes. Kermit.
And honey.
Cheapest way to
like
support
that.
the channel is leave a comment. Tell me what you think about body cams. Did you hate them and then you got them and now you love them? Did you love them and then you got them and now you hate them? Do you think that these poor 18-year-old girls getting DWIs is,
for God's sake.
The reason why we should back off on cameras? Are you surprised that he didn't bring up the amount of times that, political activists have been lying through their teeth when it comes to police brutality? See you next time, weirdos. The magazine, The New York. Did I squeak on that?
Oh, hey, that was interesting. That was a good one. I like his take on about how like body camera releasing being able to show the inside of someone's homes and potentially exposing them. Like, I get that as an argument. That is actually a very legit argument. The problem is if you're going to have so many people that are making fraudulent claims at a police department or a police officer about like inappropriate behavior or something, it's kind of necessary. Now, the one thing that I think that they could do is if every police department had a standard where if they are on a call and there's no decisive action needs to be taken and it's not attached to the report, that the body cam footage be erased immediately. If the body cam footage is attached to a report, then obviously we need to be safe. Maybe that is a way. I mean, this is like a rabbit hole of like hypothesization that could go on forever. There's good and bad with this, and there's not going to be any clean fix. There's not going to be any clean solution. Right now, body cams are the best solution, along with, having them access to the FOIA. Right now, it's the best solution we've got in terms of technology and the laws governing them that we've got. And until someone can come up with something better, it's what we got.